Alright, Year 11s, welcome to your first video for Religion on Authority. Now, this one is all focused on the nature and aims of punishment. So, why do we punish people? What is the point behind punishments? Now, the first thing you need to do is make a note of what the word punishment means, which is just up there. This could be one of the 2-mark questions that comes up. Now, if you're not aware already because you've never been punished before, although I highly doubt that, it's a penalty given to someone for a crime or wrongdoing that they've committed. So, if you do something wrong, your punishment will be something that happens to you as a result of that. But I'm sure you're already aware of that. What you're going to see in the next few scenes of this video are 6 different types of punishments and reasons why we punish people. What you need to do for each is note down the word, what it means, and if you can, maybe an example to go with it. When you come back to the class afterwards, I'm going to be testing you on these 6 types of punishment, and I expect you to be able to tell me what each one actually means. So the first theory of punishment, or the first reason we might have punishments for, is protection. Now, when we talk about protection, we're talking about removing the wrongdoer, the offender, away from people in order to protect them. And this could be by putting them in jail, by the death penalty, and so on. So the idea is it protects us innocent civilians from them being able to do any more wrong in society. Now, the second theory of punishment is deterrent. Now, this refers to the idea that a punishment should be strong enough or severe enough to deter other people from committing the same sort of crime. So, perhaps attaching prison to murder would prevent other people from wanting to commit murder themselves. In some countries, they have the death penalty for that very reason, and they say that if you commit a crime so serious enough that it warrants the death penalty, it might stop other people from doing the same thing because they won't want their lives to be taken away. Now, retribution is a popular one with a lot of people, particularly where things tend to go wrong an awful lot of the time. It refers to when you punish people in order to make them pay for what they've done. And it's a bit like the old saying, an eye for an eye, which incidentally comes from the Bible. The idea behind this is that if they've done something to you, the punishment should match the crime that they've done. And so in some countries, if you commit murder, you will have your life taken away from you. And the term retribution refers to it being fair in that sort of sense. Reform's quite a popular choice for punishments, particularly with people that are more liberal in their views. Now, the idea of having punishments that seek to reform criminals is the idea that they somehow change as a result of their punishment, and they learn that what they did was wrong and they become more upstanding members of society. Now, you see this a lot in prisons today, where convicts can get an education, they can earn a qualification perhaps to help them in the real world, and so on. And the idea is it teaches them that it's probably best for them to stay within the confines of the law rather than commit another crime when they are released. In theory, having the reform system available for people will hopefully prevent other people from wanting to commit crimes because they can see that actually it doesn't pay and you have to go through this whole process again. Reparation is all about making the criminal pay for what they've done. So perhaps if they've done something small and petty, like stolen something from a shop, they would have to pay to replace the thing that they've stolen. In bigger circumstances, it's a little harder to sort of pay, perhaps, like to replace something, particularly in cases of murder. So perhaps the criminal would do something that would benefit either the victims or society. And by doing that, by having a punishment that seeks to repair the damage, the idea is that even though you can't take away from what's happened, hopefully there could be some sort of good that comes from the situation again. Now, every society has laws, even school has certain rules that you have to follow. Some people would say that the idea of having punishments is for vindication. That is, it's to make sure that everyone realises that the laws are there for a reason and they're not there to be broken. So a punishment should be severe enough to make sure that people don't commit the crimes, to make sure that people respect the laws that are in place. In some cases, some people say that the death penalty is a form of vindication because it makes sure that people know not to break the laws and not to, murder, etc. In a school situation, some people would say that being put in reach is a bit harsh, but we have that in there to make sure that people follow the school's rules and don't break them. And it's there to show you how important those rules are, that you cannot escape the fact that we have those rules in place. Now, you've looked at the 6 different theories or reasons for punishment. What I'd like you to do is I would like you to pick the 3 that you think are the best reasons for having punishments. What I would like you to do in your notes is put them into an order from the best reason for punishment to the second best and so on. And then what I want you to do is I would like you to explain why your number 1 was chosen. So if you think the best form of punishment is reparation, I want you to tell me why. Likewise, if you think retribution is the best form of punishment, I want you to tell me why. Now, if you're struggling with that because you think, I kind of like a few of them, I'm not too sure, that's fine. Maybe just tell me what your preferred few are and explain the reasons why. And if you just can't choose because you think they're all good, explain why they are all good. When we come back to class, I'm going to ask you to tell me about what you've put for this task. So be prepared to feedback. I will be choosing people at random. And there we have it. We've looked at the theory and nature of punishments. You need to make sure that you know what the term punishment means. You can state what the 6 aims and purposes of punishment are and what they mean. And you can explain which type of punishment you think is most effective and why. You need to be able to do all of these things for the lesson. So if you're not sure, rewatch the video again, speak to someone, Google it. And if as a last resort you're still confused, come and see me before the lesson. I'll see you there.